Brave if you get it.
Going. Bravery.
Big damage reduction.
I'm on him.
Big stone. Big slipstream.
I'm spinning as much as I can spin. I need it back. Oh, nope, wait.
Okay, I'm ready.
I have 5 seconds to walk up bravery. 2, 1, go. Dory braid.
4 knockouts all.
I'm gonna hit him right top of the ramp.
I'm gonna stun them all. Biggest stun. Look at that.
Bravery.
Absolutely huge.
Absolutely danced.
Phoenix is up.
Take a bravery.
Big stun. 9 knockouts all. Slipstream. And we're back away.
Oh, I need you. I got silenced.
The Summoner is one of the most powerful casters in all of Final Fantasy XIV's PvP, which is also one of the most beginner-friendly roles as a whole, and has fit into every meta since the 6.1 update. The Summoner right now is in its strongest state yet, combining powerful burst rotations. With utility, played well you can take on multiple opponents at once. My name is Salamander, and today I shall cover everything you need to know in order to master the Summoner as of patch 7.3. You can also find my guides over on Icy Veins, if you prefer a written out format, with rotations and macros listed in full. And if you enjoyed today's video, consider following for future PvP content. Let's jump right into it. Let's start with your damage. Your basic spell is the Ruin Free, which deals 6000 damage, with a 25 yarm range. Great to poke with and can be used in a micro burst rotation, with your instant cast ability called Necrotize, dealing a fast 5000 damage over the same 25 yarm reach. Necrotize then upgrades your Ruin Free into Ruin 4. This new Ruin becomes an instant cast ability, dealing 8000 damage to your target and those nearby, allowing you to set up a fast 1-2-3 combo, Ruin Free, Necrotize into Ruin 4, for a quick 19,000 burst which only grows stronger with Battle High. Next we have the Slipstream, a great way to rack up some damage and support the team, dealing 9,000 damage to your target and all within a 10 yarm radius. This makes it perfect for the Dark Knight pools, choke points and areas such as Onsel Mid. For the next 6 seconds, all players struck will receive damage over time, dealing 4,500 per tick, while you and your allies gain a 25% movement speed boost when you are near those targets. It's a really nice engage skill, since the bonus speed boost aims your tanks and merely trying to chase down a target. Next we have your Crimson combo, Crimson Cyclone into Crimson Strike. Cyclone is one of the best gap closers in the game with a 25 yarm range, so you can stay out of the reach of enemies until you see that perfect moment. Upon use, you dash to your target, dealing 6,000 damage to all within a 5 yarm radius, which then upgrades to the Crimson Strike, dealing 12,000 damage to your first target and 8,000 to all nearby. This also creates a 5 yarm knockback from the first target. Cyclone is very risky by itself, since you dive in with no movement ability to escape. The way I like to utilize this is to open with Slipstream, activate Radiant Aegis, then dash in with Cyclone. This allows you to get some great burst combos as you engage, with Radiant Aegis granting the extra protection buff, and Slipstream not only eating away at the enemy HP, but gives you that bonus speed boost while falling back. For utility we have the Mountain Buster and Radiant Aegis. Mountain Buster is your 8 yarm Kernel crowd control, dealing 12,000 damage to all struck, which will also stun each target. This pairs very nicely with your Crimson Cyclone, as you can dash in and stun entire teams. Now Radiant Aegis is your defensive, and is one of the strongest defensives out of every role, applying a 25% damage resistance on top of a 12,000 barrier. What makes this ability so strong is not only can you cast it upon yourself, you can give Radiant Aegis to party members, throw this onto roles which already have high damage reduction in frontline, and you can make them almost unkillable. Not to mention stacking guard with your Radiant Aegis for yourself allows you to take insane amounts of damage. And if you like to turn your enemy's damage into wet noodles, add both Rust and Brand of Purgatory into the mix. The defensive and shield bonuses combined with the 50 and 33% damage reduction from enemies, you start seeing a mass amount of zeros on your screen. Now on to where new players can get confused. Your Summoner's Limit Break. I will break down both as simply as possible. You have the Summon Bahamut or Summon Phoenix. Bahamut is just raw damage, whilst the Phoenix is damage plus utility. And in the current state of PvP, the Phoenix outshines Bahamut by a mile. Let's start with Bahamut. Once summoned, he will instantly cast Mega Flare for 12,000 damage, hitting everyone within a 15-yard radius. Your Limit Break then upgrades to Death Flare, allowing you to instantly deal 10,000 damage to your target and all nearby from up to 25 yards away. And Bahamut will continually attack with the Worm Wave for 8,000 a hit, automatically prioritizing targets with the lowest health. Your Ruin Free will then become the Astral Impulse, dealing another 8,000 a hit. Summon Bahamut is your turn your brain off action. You throw out a big dragon for big numbers and get big kills. The only time you can go wrong with summoning Bahamut is when you summon him by yourself, as he still needs follow-up or setup damage. Should you be KO'd during your Limit Break, Bahamut leaves immediately. What truly shines right now is your Summon Phoenix. Once summoned, the Phoenix casts Everlasting Flight. For the next 18 seconds, you and all party members within the 15-yard radius gain regen healing for 4,000 at a time. Should anyone's HP drop below 25%, that player instantly receives a 16,000 heal. This is basically a free automatic recuperate, and this alone can help your team outlast enemies in a teamfight. What makes the Phoenix so powerful is your Brand of Purgatory, which you want to aim into as many players as possible. Dealing 7,500 damage, you also lower those targets' damage dealt by 50% for 6 seconds. Throw the roll action Rust into the mix for a further 33% damage dealt and healing reduction. Then you as the summoner become a very powerful anti-dive class. Your Phoenix will automatically cast the Scarlet Flare, dealing 4,000 a hit, which also applies damage over time for 6 seconds for another 4,000 per tick. Your Ruin Free then becomes the Fountain of Fire, dealing 6,000 damage a hit, which is also a instant cast ability, allowing for full mobility. In the current state of PvP, high damage is good. However, a good use of utility outshines and outperforms, and you really do not lose out on any damage. A typical match for me running the Phoenix, I can consistently deal 2.5 million damage plus, far easier than with Bahamut. Add Radiant Aegis into the mix of your damage downs, and you will be taking 0 damage after 0 damage on your screen. Here are a few combos that I like to utilize, which are also listed on my guide over on Icy Veins. Comet and Phantom Dart are also very good roll action choices I personally have been enjoying. The reduction in damage and healing from enemies when using Rust, as I play rather aggressive and commonly dive in, and combining Rust with the Phoenix is just too much fun when it shuts down a full Dark Knight Rush combo. And here are the 3 macros that I like to use. The first to allow you to instantly summon either Bahamut or Phoenix right at your location. Extremely effective with the Phoenix when you need to react fast to a dive, alongside a macro to cast Radiant Aegis onto your focus target. The summoner has many strengths, the first one being how beginner-friendly the role is, with a small and straightforward kit, and you are the only role to have access to 2 limit breaks, allowing you to instantly change up your playstyle when needed. You have some solid crowd control with your Mountain Buster, meaning you can jump in catching players by surprise with a mass stun. Your Radiant Aegis timing is something you will want to master. That goes for utilizing upon yourself and allies, as this can be the difference maker in a fight. Your Slipstream not only continues chipping away at HP, it aids in giving chase, as you all obtain a speed boost when you are near those targets, and you can deal some amazing burst damage. Once you get used to the role, it is very easy to drop 2 million damage per game. Some of the best summoners I see out there drop 4 to 5 million per round. Where there are strengths, there are weaknesses. Luckily, the summoners only have a few. For example, your Crimson Cyclone, amazing for big plays. However, a wrong use just lands you in the enemy team, as an easy KO if you are not prepared. Summoners truly shine with higher battle highs and a half-decent team. If you get stuck with both whilst you can still aid your team, it is hard to gain any momentum. Same goes with your defensive. There will be times not having this action at the ready will get you KO'd very quickly, and the important thing to remember when limit breaking is to not overcommit. The moment you die, your limit break ends then and there, which if you are using your Phoenix can end very badly for your team. Now let's cover a few scenarios, so you can see what the summoner looks like in action. Starting with my favorite clip taken straight from a Q-Sync event. I have held onto my Phoenix, as soon as we break this ice we win the game. But again, this is a Q-Sync event, so I know for a fact a fight is headed our way. I position away from the cliffs to avoid being dropped on, and as I go for this bard I spot the adders moving in. This is where having a macro limit break comes in clutch. With some bonus aid from Bunny by my side, topped with my Radiant Aegis shielding, I tanked for their aggressive burst damage, without even triggering the Phoenix's free recuperate. And now with my team now engaging with the Maelstrom at their back, even on low MP, now is the time to push. You have the advantage, don't give them space wasting time restoring to full, as all we need to do is to maintain control over this ice to win the game. The best way to defend is to hold close, by pushing the enemy teams back, and the results of this match show for themselves, earning 15 kills. to 66 assists, with 0 deaths, while also achieving 2.7 million damage and a further 3.7 million in healing. Take a look at this opening battle. Very quickly I can spot that we are about to be overwhelmed, so I waste no time using my defensive, then throwing out Slipstream. This will help aid my team in falling back thanks to the speed boost, and I use guard early. Do not be afraid to pop guard when you think a ton of burst damage might be coming your way. I then hit the Cyclone Stun combo attempting to put this paladin in a bad position. He then retreats, with my Crimson Strike follow-up earning a KO on one of his team. Adders hit the flank, which is the cue to drop down and regroup with the Alliance. Moving on, I waste no time going for a potential third party, using Phoenix as a means to push. The Behemoth limit breaks up barely scratch our team as the regen counters this. I go aggressive once more with the Dash Stun combo, then I hit guard to avoid the instant burst follow-up and retreat. The bio from nearby Scanners also has next to no effect thanks to this regen, and after my team do a quick poke and earn some kills, my Alliance is able to make a very easy escape. Here as a team we attempt to rotate away from the cluster fight going on. Whilst I get very close to my next limit break, we fall back to our choke point. Only once our Dark Knight goes in do we re-engage. We start by trapping and stun out the Ninja and Paladin caught out in the open. The moment they die, the momentum does not stop. I cast Phoenix and do not hesitate to stun the Adder's team, who are also being pressed by the Maelstrom, earning enough assists to complete my battle high 5. This is another reason why the Phoenix is a good option. When you have intense matches like this, your Ruin becomes an instant cast ability. You can keep up the chase while dealing damage and never stopping. Here is me demonstrating why the Summoner's small kit is a strength, taking down the Maelstrom stealing our ice. I open with the Slipstream buff and dive right in. From here I can remain almost entirely mobile, giving chase bouncing from target to target. A good engagement removes a caster's biggest weakness of standing around. And with that out of the way we go to join the main fight. Here I show the power of the Radiant Aegis stacked with your guard. As we re-engage yellow as the red team drop from above. Seeing this, I pop Radiant Aegis in response, hit my guard and slowly back away. Now if you look very carefully, you will notice a lot of 0 damage being taken, so try holding onto your defensive for when you truly think you will need it. As you can clearly see, it can get you out in a pinch. Here is one final play demonstrating everything I have talked about being put into action, starting with a flank from the cliff. Seeing my Dark Knight engage instead of opening with the Cyclone Stun combo, I open with Slipstream. Timed right, Slipstream lands as the enemies are pulled together. Then I can follow up with the Cyclone Stun combo, and this is where staying mobile is key, as the yellows have snuck up behind. If I was standing around casting, there was a very good chance I could be KO'd right here. Thankfully I am on the move and fall back, as my limit break draws close. We still have our Dark Knight to lead the way, so do not try to greed ahead and wait for the signal. As we push the red team, then I cast Phoenix. This will aid in our aggressive push and helps defend from the yellows who might go for a second flank. As you can see, anytime you go for that Cyclone play, always begin falling back, as Cyclone is the only time you need to be in close. In this fight, you can see the benefits of the Phoenix utility hard at work. That healing and damage reduction is a hugely unfair advantage, so abuse it. From here on, it is rinse and repeat until we claim our victory. And there you have it, my updated guide to the Summoner, as of patch 7.3. We might yet see further changes coming in the December update. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to let me know. Thank you all for the continued support, and I shall see you all in the next one.